The nation is larger than any one person. Chukat 5781. Moshe and Aharon's failure to merit entry to the promised land is considered tragic. They were denied entry because of their sin at May Merivah, the waters of strife. The question is, what exactly was their sin? Rashi explains that the sin was striking the rock instead of speaking to the rock to bring forth water. The Rambam says, no, that wasn't the real sin. The real sin was Moshe chastised the people by yelling, Shmuna Hamorim, listen, O you rebellious people. The people had come to Moshe fetching that there was no water. They said, we're going to die in this wilderness. And Moshe became frustrated with them, said, listen, you rebellious people. He's basically saying, you really think God, who saved you time and time again, is going to now let you die in the wilderness? Don't worry about it. God will take care of it. But though Moshe chastised the people, though Moshe became angry, we never see in the narrative that God is angry with the people because of their fetching. Why? Because he understood. The people were scared. It's scary. You're in the wilderness. You don't have water. You think you're going to die. You're scared. Often, when people are frightened for their very own lives, they're not on their best behavior. God understood that. So, what he's saying to Moshe here is, Moshe, you misrepresented me. The people think I'm angry with them because you yelled at them, but I'm not angry with them. I understand they're scared. And even you, Moshe Rabbeinu, cannot talk to my people in such a fashion. That's Rashi. Rav Hananel explains that the sin was Moshe and Aharon declared, Nosei lechamayim, shall we, the two of us, bring forth water? It's God who brings forth the water. Moshe and Aharon just facilitate. Based on this, on Rabbi Hananel's commentary, we can suggest that Moshe and Aharon's being barred from entry into Canaan was a necessity. Why? Because the people viewed them as the ones who were performing these miracles. Yes, in an intellectual manner, perhaps they understood it was really God, but they couldn't see God. They saw Moshe and Aharon performing miracle after miracle. So, in a sense, after a time, they conflate Moshe and Aharon with God. It's like the God complex in reverse. In the God complex, you think you're God because of all the wonderful things you do for others. In this case, the people see Moshe and Aharon doing wonderful things for them all the time. So eventually they conflate Moshe and Aharon with God. Remember in the movie Malice, Alex Baldwin played a doctor, and he said, when someone is about to have a surgery and they go into the church to pray to God, who do you really think they're praying to? They're praying to me, the surgeon. I'm the one who has the power and the ability to save them. So, based on Rav Hananel's commentary, we could suggest that any person leading the nation for too long of a period is a danger, even Moshe, because people lose the ability to distinguish between the human leader and the divine leader, who is the true leader. This is the argument that the Change Coalition successfully made in Israel. This is the reason why Washington voluntarily stepped down after 2 terms. This is the reason why historians view the first transfer of power peacefully between Washington and Adams as a watershed moment in American history. It showed that power could peacefully be transferred. And earlier on, when King George III heard that Washington was going to give up his military commission instead of making himself a king, he declared that if Washington actually does this, he will be the greatest man alive. Why? Because King George couldn't imagine somebody would have voluntarily give up power and return it to the people. But Washington did, and because of this, he's compared to Lucius Cincinnatus. He was appointed dictator of Rome in 458 to rescue Rome from military threat. But unlike Caesar, he returned power to the people after he completed his task, and he went home to his farm. Because of this, he was considered a great man, just as we consider Washington a great man for doing his job and then going back to Mount Vernon. From this point of view, Moshe's death on the east bank of the Jordan was a necessity. Just as Washington returned home to Mount Vernon, it was time for Moshe to return home to his maker and pass the baton to his successor, Joshua, Yehoshua. The message we're being taught here is the nation is larger than any one person.